we have somebody who is a former Nigerian sportsman. As a matter of fact, a former Nigerian footballer. He played at the highest level for the national team, the Super Eagles. He is somebody who was part of that select group of Nigerians who made it for the first time way back in 1983. They were the first set of Nigerians who represented the country in the FIFA World Cup of any kind. The first to play the FIFA World Cup, the first Nigerian team to be at the FIFA World Cup tournament. That was Mexico 83 World Youth Championship, and then that team had Ali Jeje as captain. Ali Jeje's mother was also one of those that benefited from the minister's palliatives and incentives and care package for ex-internationals and their mothers as well. But today, I'm talking here about Paul Lucky Okoku. Paul Okoku was the vice captain of the squad with Ali Jeje as the captain. And Paul Okoku, he is based in the United States. Okay, I hear he is now a chief in the United States. We have him joining us virtually from there. Paul Okoku, Chief Paul Okoku, it's good to have you join us on Sports Extra. Well, let's begin by asking you how you are doing over there in the United States. Paul Okoku, an iconic name, a legend. A lot of people would want to know how you're doing, especially those who are old enough to remember that set of players that you had that privilege of being part of. How are you doing?
Well, thank you for asking, Ed. My family and I are doing very well in spite of the devastation caused by coronavirus, COVID-19. I can't ask for any better blessings than what we have right now. As you rightly put it, United States has the highest number of deaths caused by coronavirus. I'm hoping that that number will come down.
Here in Nigeria, occasioned by the necessities of the times, the COVID-19 pandemic has thrown up a new word to many, and it is palliatives. This is a word that a lot of people get to hear every now and then as it concerns care and looking after one another. And it has come within the context of the sports minister, Sunday Dare in Nigeria, who has taken his time to reach out to some former players, some former footballers who are in need, who are down with some sort of ailment or the other, and then even extending it to the mothers of those former icons, and that includes the mother of Ali Jeje. Ali Jeje was the captain while you were the assistant captain back in 1983 when you represented Nigeria at the FIFA World Youth Championship in Mexico. And this is something that has made a lot of people to say that footballers have not been able to do much to take care of themselves. But again, what the minister is doing is worthy of commendation, I guess.
Oh yes, I heard about that. The sports minister is doing an amazing job. First, he extended these palliatives to late Rashid Yakini's mom, and then to late Sam Okwaraji's mom, and then now to late Ali Jeje's mom. Yes, as you said, Ali Jeje was my captain to Mexico 1983. What an amazing job the sports minister is doing. We all need to rally around the sports minister and encourage him to continue doing this. This is unprecedented, so we have to encourage him.
Well, Paul, regardless of the fact that many believe that the government owes it a duty to give the best of care and attention to players, former sportsmen and women, heroes in their own rights, there should be a limit to how far the government goes in doing this. It shouldn't be the right of the players because many argue that the players were given their dues in their time and really do not need to come back to the government to expect the government to take to pick up their bills, as it were. What are your thoughts on this?
Okay, even though my response to your question is going to be contradictory to my personal belief that we all are responsible for our decision making. Our decision making shape our life. Um, that said, I think the government should step in and help the ailing footballers, the retired footballers, the ones that are stricken down by stroke, the ones that are living in penury. I think the government should come in and support them. Let me state this. It is not their responsibility to do so, but it would be nice for them to do it. It's no big deal. Nigeria is rich enough to take care of all ex-internationals who are suffering today. That's my take.
And another argument against those players of your generation is the fact that many of them were playing. You played at a time where there was little or no money in the game. And the little money in the game were there for you to take, but quite a lot of you did not take the chance of investing wisely with the little you were making that time. Hence, the fact that so many of players in that generation are now in the situation they find themselves.
Well, during my time, for sure, I know there were some players who are paid um, handsomely, and there were some players who were not making much, as you said. Nevertheless, we were young and inexperienced in the realm of finance. We didn't have any financial advisor to tell us what to do with our money. So some of us just were complacent. We thought that, at the end of the day, we're going to live making this kind of money for the rest of our lives. So you can blame us living in that era, not knowing what to do with the money. We were young, still living with our parents. We didn't have any responsibilities. In terms of what I am doing to be relevant, as you ask, well, I just made a decision early on in my life to use football as a means to an end. I didn't want to use football as an end. I've always wanted to have security in my life. That was why when I was in high school, I chose to play and work at the bank. And at the end of the day, when I realized that the scholarship was eminent, that was when I chose to go play for Leventis United and eventually ended up in the United States.
All right, Paul, it's really interesting to know that you are giving back to the society with your foundation. But it is rather curious that what you're doing is not football related. As a result, you are not giving back to football per se. And why did you choose not to do something in football and rather looking at a child, for instance? So many fans will be wondering why you didn't go into having a football academy, for instance, or trying to groom young midfielders, because you were a midfielder and then young players. Why didn't that happen?
Well, having a football academy is all well and good. But for me personally, I chose to give back to the society that supported me during my playing days for Flying Eagles and Super Eagles. I know what it's like to be in despair. And I know doing these little things for humanity and for these children give them hope. And you know that hope keeps one alive.
All right, well, we can't let you go without putting this question to you, and it is about footballers and then coaching. A lot of footballers, after their playing days, want to be coaches, want to handle their respective national teams or club sides. Do you believe that a good footballer in his days would necessarily make a good football coach?
Not necessarily. There are many aspects of coaching that one does not learn on the field. As a coach, in order to lead a successful team, you have to have discipline and humility. Some of these qualities are refined on and off the field. If you are aspiring to be a successful coach, regardless of your playing career, whether you're a good player or not, once you possess these qualities, I am quite certain that you're going to be successful as a coach.
All right, Paul Okoku, Chief Paul Okoku, a Nigerian chief in the United States. It's good to have heard you here with us on Sports Extra, all the way from the United States. A wonderful time we've had with you, and we enjoyed your analysis and the fact that you laid it bare and gave it to us without gloves. The way it is. We want to thank you so very much for being a part of the show. And we do hope that when we call on you the next time, you will be there for us.
Wow, Ed, that's a loaded compliment, and I thank you kindly. Thanks for having me on your sports show, Sports Extra on AIT. Stay safe as well, and continue to hold it down. Thank you.